Year 2025 Public Service Examinations. Federal government concludes frameworks required for operational rollout of African Energy Bank. On the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky meets with Pope Leo at his inaugural Mass. And in sports, Vice President Shetima declares 22nd National Sports Festival Gateway Games open. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. The Lagos State government has announced Tuesday, May 20 to Monday, May 26 for the rescheduled public service examinations holding at the Public Service Staff Development Center, PSSDC, Magodo, Lagos. A statement signed by the Director, Lagos State Examinations Board, Adebayo Orosholu, says the adjustment follows extensive planning and coordination aimed at ensuring a seamless and robust examination process, emphasizing the board's commitment to upholding integrity and fairness throughout the exercise. Orosholu advised candidates to visit the official portal of the board to print a clear copy of their seating arrangements using the already provided password and username. He stated that candidates are required to present valid means of identification, including staff ID card, National Identification Number NIN, and the Lagos State Residence Registration Agency ID, amongst others. At the venue, Orosholu stressed the importance of retaining registration details and printing examination slips ahead of examination dates, and reiterated the board's commitment to delivering a transparent, equitable, and efficient examination process. The Lagos Waste Management Authority LOMA has called on Lagosians to stop discarding waste and start tapping into its economic value through recycling and circular economy. LOMA's Managing Director Muyiwa Badageshin, who made the call, emphasized that waste materials like bottles, paper, and textiles can be sold to recyclers for profit. Badageshin revealed plans to convert major landfills like Olushosun and Solos into modern recycling hubs and announced a forthcoming deal book highlighting business opportunities in waste management. He said LOMA is also expanding environmental education through its academy and has introduced recycling programs in schools, with students now managing waste hubs. Badageshin noted that the key is changing behavior, especially among the youth, adding that building a culture of recycling will help secure a cleaner, more prosperous Lagos. In commemoration of the International Day of the Boy Child, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, DSVA, in partnership with the Ford Foundation, visited 3 secondary schools in Lagos. The schools are Estate Junior High School, Ifako Jaye, Keke Junior High School, Senior High School, Ifako Agege, and Stadium Grammar School, Ifako Agege. The club presidents led interactive discussions on identifying child abuse and its many forms, recognizing their rights and responsibilities, relating with the opposite sex in healthy ways, and how to seek help or report abuse using the agency's toll-free line 08000 333 333. Guided by the theme Boys' Health and Well-Being, the sensitization program sought to educate, empower, and amplify the voices of young boys. Students participated actively, chanting Boys' Health Matters to emphasize the importance of mental health, emotional stability, and personal safety. Through this effort, DSVA continues to build a generation of informed, confident boys who are empowered to speak out and stand against all forms of abuse. And now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has concluded key legal and governance frameworks required for the operational rollout of the African Energy Bank (AEB) as preparations for its official launch enter the final phase. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Oil, Heineken Nukobiri, made this known in Abuja at a review meeting with the president of the African Export-Import Bank, Benedict Orama. and the Secretary General of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, Omar Ibrahim. The minister said the meeting assessed progress on the bank's establishment and confirmed that critical milestones had been completed and progressing on schedule. According to Lupobiri, the AEB is poised to become a transformative financing platform for energy and projects across the continent. He expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his continued support and commitment to the project, stressing that beyond the completion of regulatory frameworks, discussions on capital mobilization had also recorded encouraging commitments from both member nations and private investors. Lupobiri added Nigeria's role as the host country for the bank reaffirmed its leadership position in Africa's hydrocarbon sector. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed a probe into the alleged shoddy execution of a road project in the Aduramigba community, Ido Osun area of the state. Adeleke's directive came after members of the community held a peaceful protest over the quality of work done on the road that passes through the area. Speaking during the protest, the community chairman, Sunday Ogundele, said the road was constructed without proper drainage system, insisting that a poor job was done by the contractor. Reacting in a statement, the spokesperson to the governor, Olale Rashid, said senior officials from the Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Works, and Osun Rural Access and Mobility Project were acting on the complaint. And now to foreign news. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has thanked Pope Leo XIV for being a clear voice in defense of peace in Ukraine at the day of his inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. Posting on Telegram after the meeting, Zelensky thanked the new Catholic leader for his support for Ukraine and clear voice in defense of a just and lasting peace. Addressing thousands in St. Peter's Square, the Pope used his inaugural Mass to highlight concerns about the war in Ukraine, also warning against marginalization of the poor and autocracy. President Zelensky, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio were among dignitaries in attendance. And now Sports Vice President Kashim Shettima has formally declared open the 22nd National Sports Festival tagged Gateway Games Ogun 2024 at a colorful ceremony in Abeokuta, bringing together the nation's finest athletes for 2 weeks of sporting excellence. The creme de la creme of Nigerian sports will converge on Ogun State capital as the country's foremost multi-sports event kicks off in grand style, promising a spectacular showcase of cultural splendor and athletic prowess. Ogun State Governor Dakwa Abiodun has assured the nation that the state is fully prepared to host athletes, officials, and guests from across the country, marking its second time hosting the prestigious event following its memorable staging in 2006. The leadership of the National Sports Commission, led by Chairman Shehu Diko and Director General Bukola Olopade, emphasized that the National Sports Festival is not merely a tradition but a strategic platform to discover emerging talents. And that's all for the news at 6. Use the walkway where available to avoid accidents. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, on YouTube. Subscribe and watch us live on our channel Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration supported 3,673 business with advisory and capacity building, as well as market access opportunities? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government's website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. The Lagos State Government has announced Tuesday, May 20 to Monday, May 26, 2025, for the rescheduled public service examinations holding at the Public Service Staff Development Center, PSSDC, Magodo, Lagos. The federal government has concluded key legal and governance frameworks required for the operational rollout of the African Energy Bank, AEB, as preparations for its official launch enter the final phase. We also told you that Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has thanked Pope Leo XIV for being a clear voice in defense of peace in Ukraine at the day of the inaugural Mass in St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. And in sports, now Vice President Kashim Shettima has formally declared open the 22nd National Sports Festival, tagged Gateway Games Ogun 2024, as a colourful ceremony in Abeokuta, bringing together the nation's finest athletes for 2 weeks of sporting excellence. For contacts with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Aditwa Ejoyuka. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.